Ever get that rush when you're learning a new language? Like those first couple phrases you nail down, you know? Almost like you've been handed a key to a whole different world.
It's totally like that,
Yeah.
right? Like, sure, you could have a map, but wouldn't
I
you rather
mean,
be in the know, get those insider tips? It's kind of what we're diving into today, those make or break first impressions. And we're going way past just like the words themselves.
exactly. We're using this language learning podcast episode, What's Your Name, as our jumping off point, and trust me, it gets pretty insightful.
Oh, yeah. It's not as basic as it might sound.
Our mission today, giving you the toolkit, not just the phrases, but that cultural finesse to rock those initial conversations. And this episode kicks off with the classics, the what's your name? How are you from? How old are you? You know, the essential.
Though some folks might be thinking, wait, didn't I learn this back in high school? And to that, I say,
Fair enough.
think of it this way. You learned the alphabet back then, too, right? But that didn't mean you were fluent.
True.
These phrases, they're your building blocks. The cool part is seeing how they're structured, because that unlocks this whole other level, the verb to be, which is fundamental in so many languages.
Okay, hold up. Let's break that down for a sec, the verb to be. Now, for anyone who starts sweating when they hear grammar, don't worry, this isn't a linguistics lecture or anything.
Promise.
Yeah.
But getting a handle on how to be works its magic, like I am, you are, he, she, it is. That's your superpower. You go from just what's your name to are you from France, or even I am not a student, I am a musician, all with a pretty limited vocab.
It's that aha moment when you realize, like, Legos can be so much more than just the picture on the box, right?
100%.
But where it gets really interesting, the episode touches on this, is politeness. I mean, that's huge for making a good first impression.
Couldn't agree more. It's more than just words on a page. It's the whole vibe, those subtleties. Like, picture this in some cultures, straight up asking someone's age, that's a no-go. Yeah, it can be kind of awkward.
Totally. But you could swing it with, what year were you born? A lot smoother, much more respectful.
Oh, that's clever. I know I'd be a bit weirded out if someone just went, how old are you? But asking about the year I was born, that sparks a different kind of chat, you know. Exactly. Feels more like storytelling than just spitting out facts.
Yeah.
Or take, where are you from? Instead of hitting them with that directly, how about, have you always lived here? Gives them the space to share however much they're comfortable with.
It's all about creating that, like, welcoming vibe for a conversation to flow. I really like that the episode suggested a practice activity and even homework. Got any tips for our listeners on how to really lock in these skills?
Finding a language partner is gold, hands down. But even flying solo can be super effective. You could try recording yourself, like acting out both sides of a conversation. That way you can listen back, fine-tune your pronunciation, even try out different levels of formality.
Love that, like having your own personal replay button, catching those nuances you might have missed.
Precisely. And here's the thing. As you're practicing, remember, each language has its own personality, its own music.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to play with those sounds, the intonation, experiment a little, have some fun with it.
Such a good point. It's not just about, you know, memorizing a script. It's about capturing that feeling, that vibe.
For sure.
This episode got me thinking about something, though. We've mainly been talking spoken language, right? But what about those written introductions? Emails, social media posts, even something like a handwritten note, they all have their own little cultures, you know?
That's actually a really sharp observation. You're spot on. How we adapt to these basic questions for the written word speaks volumes about how well we grasp a culture. Imagine getting an email that's just like, what's your name? Versus one that says, it's a pleasure to connect with you. May I ask your name? Subtle, but impactful.
Night and day. So, big takeaway here as you're diving into a new language, pay attention to how those opening questions, those greetings, they shift depending on if you're speaking or writing. It's like unlocking this whole other dimension of cultural understanding.
Absolutely. It adds so much depth to your learning.
It's like they say language is more than just words. It's a window into a culture.
100%. It's about connecting on a deeper level.
Well said. So next time you're brave enough to strike up a conversation in a new language, remember, it's about more than just the words themselves. It's about understanding the nuances, embracing the culture, and having fun with it.
Enjoy the journey. It's well worth the effort.
Couldn't agree more. Until next time, keep those language skills sharp.